phone. Yeah. Sorry for that. My mic was giving some problems. Let's continue. So welcome to this 120th live tech Q&A session where uh, you can ask me some tech related questions and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. And to post your questions, you have to post it via Twitter and use the hashtag that is known as askgeekyranjit. So I already have quite a few questions. So let's start. 1 second, guys. Let's see if the audio is working. Yeah. So I got the first question from Dhruvam Kothari, and he's asking me which ISP do I use? That is the internet service provider. And out of all the routers that you have tried, which one is the best? Dhruvam, I use a local ISP, and that is known as Act Broadband. Earlier, it was Beam Fiber, and they provide really high-speed connection. I am on the 100 Mbps plan, both for downloads and uploads. And regarding the best Wi-Fi router that I have used, is the Asus 87U. That is the primary router that I've used. It's on the expensive side, I think. So I paid 20,300 for that router, and that is one of the best Wi-Fi routers that I've used. In the budget range, last year I tested the TP-Link Archer C20. That was for about 2,800 or so. That was also a decent router. But for a high-end router, I would give my vote to the Asus 87U. I hope that answers your question. Guys, let me just quickly check once more. The audio is working fine. Okay, let's move to the next question. This is by Deepanjan Das. He's asking Moto G versus the Lenovo K4 Note. I would lean over the Moto G3 over the K4 Note because the K4 Note, the chipset that Lenovo has used is not that powerful. Hence, it lags a little bit in games. And also with Airtel 4G, the cellular call quality was not that great for me. But in some other aspects, I would say the Lenovo K4 Note does really well. In terms of, for example, if you watch a lot of video and consume a lot of multimedia content, because of that two front-firing speakers, it had a much better experience. Also, the fingerprint scanner works very well. I would also suggest that if you can wait for some time, now we know that Xiaomi is going to launch the Redmi Note 3 in India, and that will be the Snapdragon 650 variant, which is actually much superior to the MediaTek variant that is being sold in China. So if you can wait for some time, we know that will be launching on March 3rd. So I would suggest wait for some time and let's see how Xiaomi prices that device. I think so it should be really competitive. Should be around the pricing between the Moto G3 and the Lenovo K4 Note. Let's move to the next question. Oops. This is by Umesh. He's asking, how is the camera on the TV LE Max compared to the Nexus 6P? Are you going to post a dedicated camera review? Umesh, I have no plans of posting a dedicated camera review for the TV LE Max. I would say it's a decent camera, but again, in low lighting, the Nexus 6P simply does better. But yes, the camera is decent on the LE Max. I will not post a dedicated camera review for the LE Max. I'll include everything in my final review for the LE Max. Let's move to the next question. This is by Siddesh. This is a YouTube-related question. He says, I've opened a new YouTube channel, so I want to buy a cheap camera and a mic. I want your suggestions. I would say going with cheap mic and cheap camera is a really bad idea. Save, I would say, initially, if you're just starting, instead of going for a very cheap camera, I would say, if you have a decent smartphone, use the smartphone, because these days the smartphones, most of the smartphones do actually pretty good in terms of camera if you have a 1080, if they support 1080p. So I would suggest that you use that, save a little bit more, and invest later on in a very good microphone and in a good camera. Because, for example, as you can see, this is the Yeti mic that I'm using. And this is the mic that I'm using now for 5 years. If I would have purchased a cheap mic earlier, it would have broken and the audio quality would not have been good. So mic is something that will last you for a long time. So invest in a good mic, and that also stands for the camera. I would suggest save, use your smartphone as of now. You get smartphone camera mounts cheaply. Use that. because if you do it handheld, then the video won't come out good. So use a cheap smartphone tripod and use your smartphone to make the videos initially safe, and then invest in a decent DSLR. That way you'll have a lot better quality. I hope that helps. Let's move to the next question now. And this is by Rahul Patel. He is asking, which one will you buy if you have one option? He says Samsung Galaxy S7 or the G5 or the Mi 5, if price does not matter. It's very difficult to answer that question, Rahul, because I haven't actually tested any of these three devices, so it's impossible for me to answer. We know that the Galaxy S7 is going to launch this month in India, but again, we have no idea if the Mi 5 is going to launch. Definitely won't launch this month. And LG has actually made it very clear that it's not going to launch this quarter in India. So it's going to launch only in the next quarter in India. So only when I have those devices, I can comment about them. But I'm really looking forward to the Mi 5 because of the pricing. It's going to be really aggressive for the hardware that we are getting. Let's move. I also like the LG G5 because that's the first phone that has that modular design. So it opens up a lot of opportunities. But again, we have no idea what will be the pricing of those extra accessories and the modules. So only time will tell. Let's move to the next question. This is by this is Sankan Subhar Biswan. He's asking Xiaomi Mi 5 or the Vibe X3 gaming, which one do you think is better? Again, I can't comment on the Mi 5 because I haven't tested. The Vibe X3 did actually very good in gaming. You can check out the gaming video that I posted. But again, the Mi 5 has the new Snapdragon 820 SoC, which is way more powerful than the Snapdragon 808. But again, I simply can't comment how will be the performance of the Mi 5 because we don't have it. I have no idea if it exhibits any heating issues. But the Vibe X3 did perform very well in gaming. And he's asking, why is the Vibe X3 out of stock? Only Lenovo knows. I, in fact, contacted one of the Lenovo guys, and they said that they were also amazed by the response of the Vibe X3. They never expected, they said that the Vibe X3 will get so many orders. Hence, they simply didn't order that many Vibe X3. Hence, it's out of stock as of now. Anyways, let's move to the next one. This is by Fire Javid. He's asking, he says he's confused between the Moto X Force and the Nexus 6P. Javed, I would go with the Nexus 6P over the Moto X Force. I will only recommend you the Moto X Force if you are sort of a clumsy person and you keep dropping phones. If that is the case, then definitely go with the Moto X Force. But if you are sort of careful with your phones and you don't break your phones, then I would definitely suggest the Nexus 6P. Let's move. This is by Sagar. He's asking, which one should I choose? He's asking Lenovo Vibe P1 or the Lenovo Vibe S1. Gaming is the only priority. Both actually suck for gaming. Don't go with both those devices for gaming. That's my frank opinion. Sagar, I would suggest that just wait for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. I think so that will also be priced around that price band from the rumors what I'm hearing. And in fact, it has a much better chipset with the Adreno 510 GPU. So that should do a lot better in gaming. Let's move to the next one. This is by Vittal Reddy. He's asking, in 2016, which is the best phone in low budget? I haven't actually tested very ultra low budget phones this year, but some of the other phones that I tested, for example, the LE1S that sells for just 11,000. I feel for the price of 11,000 rupees, you get a lot with the LE1S. Yes, it's not a perfect phone. It has some flaws, but overall, I would say for 11,000 rupees, I would say as of now, you can't get a better device. We don't know the pricing of the Redmi Note 3 that will be launched on 3rd March. So if Xiaomi can undercut the pricing of this one, as of now, I would say the LE1S is my pick for the best bang for the price. But again, if you can wait till March 3rd, Then we'll know the pricing of the Redmi Note 3, which has the Snapdragon 650 SoC, which is technically much better than the Helios X10. Let's move to the next one. This is by Akshay. He's asking, according to you, he says, what should be the pricing of the Galaxy A5 and the A7 2016 edition? Samsung will hate me for this. This is the A7. I have already tested it. I'll try to post the review in a day or two, the full in-depth review. I like the build quality. The build quality feels very premium in the hand, and the battery life is actually very good on this A7. But considering the price to performance, the performance that I got with this device, I simply cannot justify the 33 or 34,000 price of this A7. If I would say even at 25,000, it is a hard sell for me. So if Samsung would have priced it around 25,000 or so, maybe then I would have recommended. But at 34,000, I simply cannot recommend the Galaxy A7 2016 edition. Let's move to the next question. This is by King Naveen. He says, hey Ranjit, is it a good upgrade moving from the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 to the Note 5? I would say yes. The camera is better on the Note 5, and also that sometimes you notice that UI lag on the Note 4, because my wife is using the Note 4. That is not present on the Note 5. So yes, it's a decent upgrade, but I wouldn't say it's a must-have upgrade in my opinion, because now the Note 5 is it's almost in its midlife, and in the next 6 months we'll get the Note 6. So if you think you're having issues with your Note 4, then certainly the Note 5 is an upgrade, but again, it's also a downgrade in some aspects. For example, it does not have the IR blaster. You also don't have micro SD card. So those are some of the drawbacks of the Note 5. So let's move. This is by Napoleon Kangu. He's asking, hi, what is dual pixel camera technology that is being used on the Galaxy S7 and Edge? Yes, the S7 is using that dual pixel technology. In fact, this technology was first used in this Canon DSLR, that is the Canon 70D, and due to that, this Canon 70D has amazing autofocus. So using that technology, the S7 will focus a lot faster. And now Samsung also says that there are a lot more pixels that generally on a camera sensor, not all the pixels are used for autofocusing now. But now with this S7, Samsung has said that they're claiming 100% of the pixels will assist in autofocusing. And by using this dual pixel technology, the focusing should be actually really fast, even in low lighting conditions. And regarding the aperture, that is 1.7, that should help in low light situation. That means the sensor can gather in a lot more light. So technically speaking, just from the specs point of view, the camera performance on the S7 should be a lot better, even in artificial lighting and low lighting. Again, I can only comment about it after testing it. This is by Venkatesh. He's asking, does the Lenovo Vibe X3 support FM radio? As far as I recall, it does not support FM radio. I no longer have it. It was a review in it. It went back to Lenovo. But as far as I recall, it did not have the FM radio. This is by Jay Surya. He's asking, how do you know which charger is a fast charger? And will you review the Intex band at ₹999? No, I have no plans to review the Intex band. And regarding the fast charger, it is very easy. Normal chargers, if you see the chargers, they will have an output of 5 volts, but a fast charger will have an output of 9 volts or even 12 volts. So you can just have a look at the charger and determine that. For example, most of the Qualcomm certified 2 chargers have an output of 9 volts. Now we have Qualcomm Quick Charge 3 also, and some of those support 12 volts. So just look at the charger and you'll know that. Also, Qualcomm had that Qualcomm Quick Charge 1, but that's nothing great, I would say. Uh, the actual improvements in quick charging we saw from the Qualcomm Quick Charge 2. Now we have even the Qualcomm Quick Charge 3, which the Galaxy S7, Mi 5, etc. support. And he's asking Jaysurya, will you be reviewing the Mi 5 Pro? I don't know which version of the Mi 5 I will review. I'm trying to get hold of a Mi 5 because just today it got launched in China. I'm trying to get hold of a Mi 5. I don't know which version I will get. Probably I will most probably be getting the lower end version, because I heard that that is the only that's the version that is currently available in China. So I won't be reviewing all the 3 different variants of the Mi 5, because essentially it's the same, just the internal storage is increasing, and with the Pro we just have a ceramic back compared to the regular variant which have a glass back. Give me a second. This is by Praval Jain. He's asking, in my area, Airtel offers, he says, speeds of up to 8 Mbps up to 25 gigabytes for rupees 1449. Is it megabytes per second or megabits per second? Always the net speeds that are advertised are megabits per second, not megabytes. For example, to give you an idea, your connection of about 8 megabits, you should theoretically be able to download a 1 megabyte file in about a second. It won't be exactly a second, slightly more than that. For example, I have a 100 megabit connection, and in a second, I can download a 10 MB file. For example, let's say if the software what I'm downloading or whatever is 100 MB, it takes about 10 seconds on my 100 megabit connection. I hope that answers your question. So it's always the net connections and the routers that you see or whatever speeds that they quote are in megabits. Let's move to the next one. G5. Some of you are asking about the pricing of the S7 and the S7 Edge in India. Sorry guys, I don't know. Samsung hasn't announced the pricing yet for India. I just heard rumors that in the second week sometime there might be a press event for the S7 launch in India, and only at that launch we will know the pricing info and the availability. Let's move. This is by Mr. Mukherjee. He's asking, out of 10, how much would you rate the Xbox One and the PS4? Both are actually good consoles. They play games. These days, most of the popular games are sort of multi-platform. But I actually like the Xbox One controller a little bit. And also that remote play, if you have Windows 10 computers, works amazingly well, I would say, without any lag if you have a decent Wi-Fi router. So I would rate the Xbox One 9 and the PS4 about, I would say 8, because I don't like the build quality of the PS4. Already my controller triggers are wobbly and my Blu-ray drive has already broken on the PS4. Lately, the hardware quality with Sony is degrading a lot. Even my PS3 had some hardware issues. Anyways, let's move to the next question. Oops. Give me a second, guys. This is by Simar Singh. He's asking, is the screen on the Moto X4 on the shining side? And how's the screen quality compared to the Moto X Style? The screen quality on the Moto X4 is actually very good. I thought that the clarity, etc., wouldn't be good, but that's not the case. The screen quality is surprisingly pretty good on the Moto X4. In fact, as it's an AMOLED panel, I would say the screen quality is better than the Moto X4. Sorry, the Moto X Style. Let's move. JIT is asking, best fitness band that you have used. Budget is not an issue. JIT, haven't used a lot of fitness bands lately. I had the Jawbone Up 3, but I liked it because it does amazing sleep tracking. But I don't like the fact that it does not have any display. So that I don't like. I like the Mi Band in the budget range because of the amazing battery life I was getting when I tested it. Almost 45 days on a single charge. Uh, but lately, I haven't used any new fitness bands. Once again. This is by Rutvik Parik. He's asking, which phone should I buy? The Lenovo Vibe X3, Nexus 5X, Moto X Play. Requirements, he says, good performance and battery life. As you have said, that battery life is important, then just forget about the Nexus 5X, because Nexus 5X battery life is sort of average in my opinion. The Vibe X3 actually gets the best battery life among those devices. So my pick will be the Vibe X3. But again, if you can wait for a month, I feel the Mi 5 will launch. And from what the rumors I'm hearing, it will be priced under 25,000. And that device should perform very well. But again, it's using the new Snapdragon 820 chipset. So I'm not sure about any heating issues and stuff with the Mi 5. I can only comment about it after testing. So my pick among the devices that you have mentioned would be the Vibe X3 as of now. Uh, uh, One second, guys. This is by Harshal Shah. He's asking Moto X style versus the Moto X Force. He says speaker quality matters. If speaker is the highest priority for you, then definitely the Moto X style has better speaker quality because it has dual front firing speaker. Whereas on the Moto X Force, we just have a single speaker at the bottom. So definitely the Moto X style is louder, and also you get that stereo effect. And again, guys, watch the Moto X Force review that I have posted just last week. Again, as I have said in that review, I simply can't recommend the Moto X Force for the price unless you are a person who keeps breaking phone. If you are that sort of a person, then only go for the Moto X Force, because if you're planning to spend that 50,000, you have much better phones like the Nexus 6P, the Note 5, etc. Let's move. Uh, This is by Divya. She's asking which phone to get, the Galaxy S6 or the Nexus 5X 32 GB model. He says, good camera, decent battery, and phone that does not lag. Uh, I would say the Galaxy S6 will take better pictures in outdoor situations. But when we move to indoor situations, the Nexus 5X will take better pictures in artificial lighting and low lighting conditions, in my opinion. So think, where do you take most of your pictures? If you mostly take your pictures in indoors and in artificial light, the Nexus 5X will take better pictures because it has the sensor that is used has much wider pixels, so they can gather in a lot more light. In fact, it's the same sensor that is used on the Nexus 6P. And in fact, I did a comparison video about a couple of months ago with the Nexus 5X, iPhone 6s, and the Moto X style. And the Nexus 5X even was beating the iPhone 6s in some scenarios, particularly in indoor lighting. This is by Bhautik. He's asking camera performance between the Vibe X3 and the Galaxy A8. I would say the Galaxy A8 does better by a slight margin, but again, the camera, even on the Galaxy A8, is nothing that great. In that aspect, I would say the Galaxy A7 camera is much better because it has optical image stabilization, whereas on the Galaxy A8, we didn't have optical image stabilization. Let's Vasu is asking me about the CoolPad Note 3 Lite. Sorry, I haven't tested that device, so I simply cannot comment about it. And getting a lot of questions regarding the Mi 5. Guys, I can't answer it because I don't have the device, so I simply can't answer about that. I'm trying to get one from China, but I doubt, I don't know when I'll get it, because importing stuff is like crazy. This is by Abhishek Malhotra. He's asking, which one do you prefer and which one is faster, OnePlus One or the LE1S? Now the OnePlus One is sort of old, I would say. In terms of build quality, I would say LE1S would get my vote. But in terms of battery life, I would still say that the OnePlus One has far better battery life compared to the LE1S. But again, even in camera, I would say now OnePlus One is pretty old, and the camera performance is simply not that great. It's just like the LE1S, which also has very average camera performance. Abhay Mishra is asking, is 4K display increasing in phones? Do you have expectations of 4K displays coming to budget range devices? No, 4K displays won't come to budget devices, and even it's not there on the high-end devices, except the Sony, Xperia Z5 Premium that has a 4K screen. Nobody is using a 4K screen on a smartphone because it's stupidity. Your human eye cannot distinguish that many pixels, so it's just a specs race. And the higher pixels you have on your smartphone, the greater strain it puts on your battery life. I'm so glad that Samsung, LG, and others haven't put a 4K screen on their S7 or the LG G5. They had sense, they went with a 2K display, because otherwise it would have been nothing but a battery drain. So 4K displays on smartphone is a stupid gimmick according to me. It's just a spec race. Let's move. One second, guys. What's the yeah? A lot of you guys are asking me about the Freedom 251. Guys, I simply don't want to comment about the Freedom 251 device as of now. When it's available in the market for real, then I'll review it. Until that happens, it's just a vaporware scam for me. Okay, end of the story. Prasanna is asking, when will you start coming on Periscope? Never. I don't use Periscope. Let's move to the next one. This is by Tanishk Bansal. He's asking about best video editing softwares for Windows. I don't do video editing on a Windows computer. I use a Mac for my video editing. But Ash uses, Premiere Pro. He likes it. It's very advanced. We also have Sony Vegas. That's a good one. So these are the two ones that are actually pretty good on Windows. 1 second, guys. Anush is asking, is the iPhone 6s a worthy upgrade, or should I wait for the iPhone 7? I would say now you have waited such a long time, wait for the iPhone 7, because we know that the iPhone 7 will have a new design. Now the iPhone 6s, yes, we have that 3D touch, force touch technology, but the design is simply old. So just wait for the iPhone 7. If I were you, I won't invest in the iPhone 6s as of now. One second. Mayur is asking about the Nextbit Robin mobiles launching in India. I have no info about it as of now. The company hasn't approached me, so I don't know if they are launching that device in India. One second. This is by Meet Cheng. He's asking, please suggest me between the LE1S or the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. Pete, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 will be launching on March 3rd. So I will be reviewing it once I have done my testing. Then I can compare and tell you if it's better than LE1S and in which department. So just stay tuned. I'm going to review that device. One second, guys. Again, a lot of questions I'm getting about the Redmi Note 3, that is also known as the Redmi Note 3 Pro. Again, guys, after third, I will start commenting about that device. Third, it's launching. So let's see. We don't even know at what price Xiaomi is going to launch that in India. So let's see. Uh, One second. This is by Sheikh. He's asking, he says he's from Pakistan and he says he's confused between the Samsung Galaxy J7 or the Honor 5X. Sheikh, I would suggest that watch both the videos that I've completed my reviews for both the devices, that the J7 and the Honor 5X. Watch that. I would say the Honor 5X offers a lot more options like the fingerprint scanner and a lot more sensors. But for gaming, I feel the J7 did a little bit better. So if you're okay with a little bit of lag here and there, I would recommend the 5X. But if you can't stand that lag, then the J7 is better. I like the Honor 5X because of its battery life. The battery life was good. Even the battery life was better on the J7. But one place where the J7 really goes ahead compared to the Honor 5X was in camera department. I feel the camera on the J7 is much superior compared to the camera that we have on the Honor 5X. I hope that helps. Let's move. Nikhil is asking, is it a good idea to buy laptops from US and import it to India? Import duty don't matter to me. If import duty doesn't matter to you, try to get it. I'm generally wary of importing stuff because I had actually terrible experience with customs. Even for small stuff, sometimes they charge customs that is almost the cost of the product. So I generally don't import expensive stuff. For example, it's a known fact that I purchased this Microsoft Surface Pro 4 here in India, and it is way expensive here in India. I paid 90,000 for this variant, and this variant is available in US for just under $1,000. So in US it's available for 67,000, but I didn't want to take chances, so I purchased it in India. And also some of the vendors do not honor the warranty, and replacements can be an issue if you purchase it from outside. So again, it's your call. I personally don't do for very expensive items. Let's move. One second, guys. One second. This is by Omar. He's asking, should I go with the OnePlus X or wait for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 or any other phone? Priorities, cameras, and gaming. You can wait for the Redmi Note 3 because it's just 2 days. It's launching on 3rd, so we'll know the pricing and stuff. So if just wait for 2 days and you will know that. Okay, this is by Abhi Prasad. He's asking, which one would you go for? He's asking me. He's saying Vibe X3 or the Nexus 6P for end user experience. I would go with the Nexus 6P for the simple fact that the camera is way superior on the Nexus 6P. And camera is sort of important to me because I keep taking product photographs here and there, wherever. So camera is really important to me. So the Nexus 6P will be my pick. But in terms of battery life, I would say the Vibe X3 gets a much better battery life compared to the Nexus 6P. Let's move. Again, this is by Ravjot Singh. He's asking, which is the best Wi-Fi router in your opinion? I haven't reviewed every Wi-Fi router, but I have tested quite a few high-end Wi-Fi routers. And if you have a high budget around 20 to 25,000, I would say I would recommend the Asus 87U. That is the router that I use personally. It's expensive router, but one of the best routers that I have used till date. Let's move to the next one. This is by Viral Chopra. He is asking about the Microsoft Surface Pro 4. He is asking, please comment on the Surface Pro 4's performance after the update. And is it worth buying it coming from a MacBook Air 13-inch, or should I wait for the new Macs? I would say the performance is decent. I never had an issue regarding the performance with the Surface Pro 4, but it is the stupid hardware bugs. For example, the annoying thing that I'm having with my Surface Pro 4 is that if you keep it on the lowest brightness, I generally use my tablets and stuff before going to bed, so all lights are closed. And in that case, if you keep it at zero brightness, the screen starts to flicker. So that is the one thing that is really annoying. But still, I like the Surface Pro 4 because this is the one that I purchased. This is not a review unit or something. I purchased this one, and I like it because it's a very versatile device. I also have the MacBook Air, but after getting this one, I have noticed that I've hardly used my MacBook Air. So it is a good device, and it's a full-fledged proper computer. And as you can see, you can easily hold it in the hand. And people don't understand the flexibility of this. The kickstand opens up a lot of opportunity. So even while lying on the bed, you can prop it up and use it. Even while sitting, you can use it. So it's not a perfect device, I would say. I would suggest that you watch the video that I posted about a week ago regarding some of the hardware issues that I had with the Surface Pro 4. So if you're okay with that, you can have a look at it. But again, it's a typical Windows 10 computer, I would say, in a tablet form factor. In terms of hardware and the speed and whatnot performance, I have no issues. But I'm not happy with the quality control that Microsoft is doing for such an expensive product. For example, that screen flickering issue is sort of annoying, but if we increase the screen brightness to 15%, it goes away. So niggling issues like that. Anyways, let's move to the next one. One second. Some of you are asking me when I will review the Mi 5. As soon as I can get it. I'm trying to import it one from China, but I have no idea, frankly, when will I get it, because first they should ship it from China. Then there's a very high chance that customs will hold it for, I don't know. It can be days, it can be weeks. So I have no idea, but definitely I'm trying to get it. Let's see if I'm able to get it. One second, guys. Let me just refresh this. This is by Jairam. He's asking, what is this monthly security patch for Nexus devices? Is it important? Think of these security patches as updates that we get for Windows, security updates that generally patch Tuesdays that we get on Windows computer. It's something like that Google is doing for Android devices. It's not just for Nexus, even for other devices, they are getting this monthly security updates. So these updates actually patch your device so that hackers cannot access stuff. It patches up the vulnerabilities. And sometimes it can have a negative effect because after this February security patch update, I noticed that my battery life on my Nexus 6P has reduced, and also the auto brightness sensor, which used to work perfectly earlier, is not working that well. So again, yeah, I think so that those issues should be fixed in the March update that we'll get soon. One second. One second, guys. Some of you are asking me about which variant of the Galaxy S7 will launch in India, the Exynos or the Snapdragon 820. To be very frank, I don't have an answer. I tried to ask that question to someone from Samsung India, and I got no answer. So frankly speaking, we don't know. But at the launch of this S7 in Barcelona, they hinted that the Snapdragon variant will come to Europe and US. So looks like for other regions we might get the Exynos. So looks like we'll get the Exynos in India, but I'm hoping that it's the Snapdragon 820. I'm looking forward to test out the Snapdragon 820 chipset because everybody is talking a lot about that one. Let's see. One second, guys. Let me refresh the questions for a second. Some of you are asking me about the iPhone 5 SE. Again, guys, yes, we only know that Apple is going to do an event in March, mid-March, where they will be announcing a smaller iPhone, possibly a 4-inch iPhone, sort of affordable also, and also the new iPad. So when it launches, then I can talk about it. I generally don't like to comment a lot about rumors. This Viral Chopra is asking me, can you comment a bit about the type cover and the trackpad on the Surface Pro 4? Is it as comfortable as the MacBook Air? This is the type cover that you use with the Surface Pro 4. It just attaches magnetically like this. Now you have a keyboard, and you can use it like a traditional, laptop. I would say certainly for the type cover, let me just attach it. Just look at it, how thin it is. For that thinness, I would say the quality is very good. I could type fairly fast on this, and even the trackpad is actually good. It's a glass trackpad. But again, if you will compare it with a proper laptop like a MacBook Air, definitely the MacBook Air's key travel is a lot more, because it simply has a lot more depth. So I would say the typing experience is better on the MacBook Air, but certainly after using this type cover, the experience was decent. I didn't hate it. And every night, for example, if I have to reply to some emails and stuff, I use this type cover and it's been working perfectly. In fact, the trackpad is actually pretty good for a Windows-based computer. Generally, the trackpads on Windows computers are horrendous, but on this one, it's actually pretty decent, I would say. But again, you can't compare it with the MacBook Air, I have to say. Let's move. One second, again, let me refresh. Saksham Tandon, he's asking, tips for budding future tech YouTubers. How do you get review units and how do you make it big? I'm just 15 years old. If you're just 15 years old, my frank suggestion is concentrate on your studies. This YouTube is not easy. I've been running this YouTube channel for about 5.5 years, and just I would say from the past 1 year, I've started to get review units. Prior to that, I had to actually purchase almost all the products. Even now, I purchased almost about 50 to 60% of the products, because these companies don't send stuff on time and stuff. So it's pretty expensive, and I've spent lakhs and lakhs and lakhs on my channel. So it's not a easy game, I would say. So at your age, if you're just 15, I would concentrate on your studies. That's my frank opinion, because running even Ash also, I know he has invested a lot, lakhs and lakhs and tons, I would say, on his YouTube channel. It's not easy. And companies generally just don't send review units just like that. It took me almost 4.5 years. Now, many of the companies do send review units, but it was not easy. And still, many times I have to purchase the devices. For example, probably I might have to purchase the Galaxy S7 that's going to launch here in India, because generally Samsung has a really bad habit of sending the devices so late that nobody is even bothered. So that's how it works. Anyways, guys, it's been over 30 minutes, so I will be ending this live Q&A session. And again, guys, we do this live Q&A session every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So I hope that you'll also be able to join me next week. And again, I will be posting, the Galaxy A7 2016 review by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So just stay tuned for that, and other videos also coming up. So again, guys, thanks for joining, and I hope to see you again in my next video.